Hey, Christy Mattoon here from Mind Rewire. I was trying to figure out what my recorder was doing. I'm so glad you're here. Please subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate that. If this is helping you, it may help somebody else, so share it if you can. I greatly appreciate that also. And just hit the like button, because that just is always nice to see. And if you comment below, ask a question. If you want to know something or want to understand something, I really try and get back and comment back to folks. It is something I put aside a little bit of time for every day. And I just love talking to you guys about this stuff, because sometimes it's hard to find people to talk to about this kind of stuff. We're back in here. Greg Braden's wisdom codes, and somebody commented the other day they see him back there praying over my shoulder. That is actually from a thing I went to that he did at the Gaia Sphere in Colorado, and he actually sang happy birthday to me. That was on my birthday weekend, and so it was just super fun. It was a poster I actually found in a coffee shop, and I took down and took it with me. Anyway, so we are on wisdom code number 6. Wisdom code number 6. This wisdom code is out of the pyramid texts, which I didn't even really know anything about until now, so that's kind of awesome. I'm going to read the code to you, and then I'm going to read a little bit about what he wrote in here about it, because he clearly has more information on this than I do, and I'm greatly appreciate him for that and for sharing it in here. I had to sit on this one for a little bit. That's why there's a lag time between these codes. I had to sit with this one for a minute because it kind of blew my mind. So this is the pyramid text. This is the Unas pyramid text. It was a king named Unas. This is utterance 213, verse 145. So however those are logged, it's utterance 213, verse 145. The code itself, the wisdom code itself, states, "There is no seed of a God which has perished. Neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belongs to him." You will not perish. This code addresses the universal human fear of annihilation and the primal fear of non-existence. I know so many people who think that they just go into oblivion or totally non-exist when this is over. And you can argue with them until you're blue in the face, and I definitely don't agree with that. I think there's way more than that out than this. This is a teeny tiny piece of our existence. And clearly you think that too, or you wouldn't be here. This code addresses the universal fear of annihilation. And if you remember, I first read, excuse my phone, I first read this little blip to you. This was from a Tibetan Buddhist nun that he also has in the book. It says, "Only to the extent that we expose ourselves over and over to annihilation can that which is indestructible be found in us." Which is, I'm like, I expose myself to annihilation all the time, apparently, because my indestructible part really is emerging, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe of my spirit. I'm in awe of the spirit that creates these spirits. I'm in awe of the part of the spirit that I am a part of. And so now this is saying there is no seed of a God which has perished. Neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belong to him. That's us. That's us. We won't perish. It says in here, the hieroglyphs known as the pyramid text from King Una's pyramid in Egypt represent some of the oldest writings known to exist. Why we ignore these writings if they're some of the oldest, I have no idea. I had the opportunity to explore the mysterious chambers, I being Greg Braden, these mysterious chambers of this pyramid, and see them for myself in the fall of 1986 in the company of a small group of scientists and researchers. We made our way through the arch-top passages and tunnels until we found ourselves in a single room with vaulted ceiling that contains the now famous hieroglyphic texts. These are chiseled, not painted, on the walls. I found myself in awe of these texts for 2 reasons. One is that the instructions remain so well preserved today that they look as though the artist who created them could have finished and walked away only hours before. But beyond the extraordinary condition of the inscriptions, it's what they say that intrigued me most. Utterance 2:13. Of all the information that could have been written by the artist, scribe, priest who inscribed the chamber wall 4 millennia ago, from the climate change and extreme drought known to exist at the time to the famine and the social unrest that the ancient records tell us plagued the era. That all sounded familiar, didn't it? The text mentioned none of these things. Using a system of utterances, with each utterance consisting of multiple verses, the text is written with a single purpose in mind. It's designed to instruct, reassure, and comfort the soul of King Unas during its journey into the afterlife. And I would just hold on to it for myself, which is what I did. It was designed to instruct, reassure, and comfort my soul. It's what it was designed for. Wisdom Code 6, taken from Utterance 2:13, verse 145 from the Pyramid text, is a beautiful example that illustrates the nature of the reassurance that ancient writings provide. Here it is again. There is no seed of a God which has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belongs to him. You will not perish. Through this ancient passage, the king's soul is reassured that having originally emerged from God as a living expression of God, and in his book it says from a, and it's small G-O-D, right? So when I read it, I'm saying having originally emerged from God, capital G-O-D, and living as an expression of God, of source, of that creation energy. You are a living expression of creation energy, of God, G-O-D, capitalized, right? We are made in the image of God, in the, I wanted to say electricity, in that composite form, right? Not in this physical image, but in the image of God as source energy. Do you understand? I love this stuff. This has such power to it. It says using the logic of the divine origin and the eternal nature of the soul, this text gives the king or any religious initiate or scribe reading the text the reason to accept the assured success of his journey. This ancient text is one of the earliest written examples of a technique that has been recognized throughout centuries to instruct, aid, guide, comfort, and heal in times of need. And while the example from the Pyramid text was drafted in preparation for the death of the king 4,000 years ago, the principle is just as powerful and works just as well while we are still living and facing the challenges of everyday life in our contemporary world. I believe that. The power of the Pyramid text is hidden in plain sight in this wisdom code that we have access to every day of our life. I'm going to read it to you again. We're going to get into heart coherence, and then we're going to sit and let it permeate our systems. So here is the code one more time. Here's the code one more time. There is no seed of a God which has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belong to him. Inhale, big inhale. Pull oxygen and energy up through your system, almost like there's a tube inside the center of your body running alongside your spine. Big inhale. Open your rib cage. Bring your oxygen and energy all the way to the top of your head. And then as you exhale, you're just letting it release down and let it move around you. Let it move in that spiral pattern through your system, touching every cell, opening every strand of DNA. As you inhale, you're pulling that oxygen and energy back up to the top of your head. Open your rib cage, activate your system. If you want to do the little Kundalini type squeeze, give it a squeeze of the perineum and then all the way up the system. And as you exhale, you're releasing, letting all of that oxygen energy move through your system. One more time, big inhale, pulling up and in. And nice, long, deep exhale, calming the system, calming the amygdala, calming your vagus nerve, resetting, rejuvenating, healing. Put your hands over your heart. Keep breathing those big breaths in, nice long big breaths out, inhaling and exhaling. And I want you to recognize a feeling inside your heart. Bring all of your awareness inside your heart. Recognize gratitude. Feel your heart open up. Feel the energy move through your heart, through your body. And then listen to this excerpt from the pyramid texts. There is no seed of a God who has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belong to him. And inhale that into your system, and then exhale, let it release from your system, keeping all your focus on these words. There is no seed of a God which has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belongs to him. You belong to this energy. You belong to Source. As you inhale, pull that oxygen and energy up through your system, and as you exhale, let it release back down through your body, all the way down underneath your feet, and then inhale again, pulling the power up through your system. There is no seed of a God who has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish who belongs to him. See yourself sitting in that energy, in the center of Source energy, in the center of God. You are a part of him. You are not removed. You are not separate. You will not perish who belongs to him. And as you inhale and exhale, I want you to keep this feeling growing in your system. Stay here as long as you like. I bless you in this. I hope it helps, and we will see you again.